Imagine this. Your wife is 8 months pregnant. She's having contractions. You rush her to the emergency room. You're sitting in that waiting room terrified, holding her hand, and 2 men in plain clothes walk in. They're not doctors. They're not nurses. They're ICE agents, and they're looking around. Now, if you're like most people I hear from, you believe one of 2 things. Either you think, no way, hospitals are safe zones. They can't touch me there. Or you think, hosts are a trap now. I'm never going back. Both of those beliefs are wrong, and either one could destroy your life. Listen to me closely. My name is Saqib, and this is Global Immigration Updates, the channel where we don't do rumors, we don't do TikTok panic, and we don't do notario advice. We do law, we do documents, and we do the truth. Today, I'm going to show you the exact federal directive that changed the rules about hospitals. I'm going to walk you through 5 traps that are getting people detained right now in 2026 inside hospitals. And then I'm going to hand you the legal shield, the exact words you need to say if ICE ever approaches you or a loved one in a healthcare setting. Do not skip ahead. Trap number 4 is the one that catches even green card holders off guard. Let's get into it. Before anyone in the comments says SACAB is fear-mongering, let me show you the receipts. This is ice.gov, the official website of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Not a blog, not Reddit, not someone's cousin's WhatsApp forward. On January 20th, 2025, the Department of Homeland Security issued a directive called Enforcement Actions in or near Protected Areas. What did that directive do? It rescinded. It canceled. It threw in the trash the Biden-era policy from October 2021 that had designated hospitals, schools, and churches as protected locations. Then, on January 31st, 2025, ICE followed up with its own memo titled Common Sense Enforcement Actions in or Near Protected Areas, which gave local ICE supervisors the green light to make case-by-case decisions about whether to conduct enforcement inside hospitals. Let me say that again so it's crystal clear. There is no federal policy in 2026 that categorically prevents ICE from walking into a hospital and making an arrest. That's not my opinion. That's on their own website. Updated February 20th, 2026. Now, does that mean you have no rights? Absolutely not. The Constitution didn't get rescinded, and that's exactly what I'm about to break down for you. Trap number 1, believing the old rule still protects you. Here's what I hear all the time. Saqib, my friend told me ICE can't come into a hospital. It's a sensitive location. That was true. From 2011 to January 20th, 2025, DHS maintained a standing policy that hospitals, schools, and churches were sensitive locations where ICE should avoid enforcement. The Biden administration expanded it in 2021. That policy is dead. It was rescinded on day 1 of the current administration. Now, a court injunction in March 2025 did bring back some protections, but only for approximately 1,400 specific places of worship in 36 states. That injunction does not cover hospitals. Not one hospital in America is covered by that court order as of today. So if you're walking into a hospital thinking you have some kind of invisible legal force field, you don't. And that false sense of security is the first trap. Trap number 2, talking when you should be silent. This is the trap that breaks my heart because it's so simple to avoid. A KFFF New York Times survey published in January 2026 found that 48% of likely undocumented adults have avoided medical care since January 2025 because of immigration fears. But here's the cruel irony. The ones who do go to the hospital sometimes make the worst mistake possible. They talk. ICE agents can enter the public areas of a hospital, the lobby, the waiting room, the parking lot without any warrant. And if they're there, they can ask you questions. But you are not required to answer. The Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution gives every person in this country, citizen or not, documented or not, the right to remain silent. That's it. That's the sentence. If an ICE agent walks up to you in a hospital lobby, those are the only words that should come out of your mouth. I am exercising my right to remain silent. I do not consent to a search. I want to speak to a lawyer because here's what happens when you talk. You might confirm your name, your country of origin, how long you've been here, and that can give ICE the probable cause they need to arrest you, detain you, and begin deportation proceedings. Your own words become the evidence against you. Silence is not suspicious. Silence is a constitutional right. Trap number 3, running from ICE inside a hospital. I have to say this because it happens more than people think. Someone sees agents in the hallway, they panic, and they run. Do not run. According to NILC's legal guidance, running from ICE agents can establish probable cause for arrest. Even if the agents didn't have any reason to stop you before, you just gave them one. Running can also lead to criminal charges, obstruction, resisting arrest. And once criminal charges enter the picture, your immigration case becomes exponentially harder to fight. Stay calm. Stay where you are. Say the sentence I just taught you and wait for a lawyer. Trap number 4, not understanding the difference between two pieces of paper. This is the trap that even lawful permanent residents and visa holders fall into. ICE agents carry two very different types of documents, and most people cannot tell them apart. But the legal difference between them is everything. A judicial warrant is signed by a federal judge. It will say United States District Court at the top. This warrant does authorize ICE to enter private areas of a hospital, your patient room, an exam room, a staff office. An administrative warrant, that's Form I-200 or I-205, is signed by an ICE officer, not a judge. Many constitutional law experts, including the ACLU and the Brennan Center for Justice, maintain that this warrant does not satisfy the Fourth Amendment's requirements to enter private spaces. Now, I must be transparent with you. This is currently being legally challenged in federal courts. The government's position is that administrative warrants may be sufficient in certain contexts, but as of today, the legal consensus from organizations like the ACLU, NILC, and the Immigrant Legal Resource Center is clear. An ICE administrative warrant alone does not authorize entry into a private hospital area without consent. So, if you're a hospital worker watching this, and I know many of you are, you need to know. You have the legal right to ask, is this a judicial warrant signed by a federal judge? And if it's not, you are not required to open that door. Trap number 5, signing papers you don't understand. In January 2026, Alberto Castaneda Mandreon, a 31-year-old construction business owner from St. Paul, Minnesota, was arrested by ICE during a sweep operation. He was brought to Hennepin County Medical Center with 8 skull fractures and life-threatening brain hemorrhages. ICE agents stationed themselves at his bedside for days. They tried to shackle him to the bed while he was so disoriented from traumatic brain injury that he didn't know what year it was. Hospital nurses fought back. The hospital CEO and attorneys got involved, and eventually a federal judge ordered his release from ICE custody. But what if he had signed a voluntary departure form while he was disoriented? What if he had signed away his right to a hearing before a judge? That's what these forms do. And once you sign, it can trigger a mandatory 3-year, 10-year, or even permanent bar from re-entering the United States under INA Section 212A9. Never sign anything. Not in a hospital bed, not in a detention center, not anywhere. Not until you've spoken to a licensed immigration attorney. Now, I told you I wouldn't just scare you. I promised you a shield. Here it is. These are 4 laws that have not been rescinded and that protect you inside a hospital in 2026. Shield 1, the Fourth Amendment. ICE can enter public areas freely, but to enter private areas, patient rooms, exam rooms, surgical areas, they need a judicial warrant signed by a federal judge or the consent of an authorized hospital staff member. An ICE administrative warrant is not sufficient according to the ACLU and NILC. This is the law of the land under our Constitution. Shield 2, the Fifth Amendment. You have the absolute right to remain silent. You do not have to answer questions about your immigration status, your name, your country of birth, or anything else. This applies to every person on U.S. soil. Shield 3, HIPAA. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996 protects your medical information. Hospitals have no legal obligation to ask about your immigration status or report it to ICE. Your medical records are protected. In California, SB 81, signed in September 2025, adds additional state-level protections restricting health facilities from sharing patient information with immigration authorities. Shield 4, MTA. This is the federal law from 1986 that has saved millions of lives. If you show up at an emergency room with a medical emergency, the hospital must screen you and stabilize you. They cannot ask for your papers first. They cannot turn you away. That law is still fully active in 2026. So, here's your action plan. I want you to write this down, screenshot this, or save this video. Step 1, memorize this sentence. I am exercising my right to remain silent. I do not consent to a search. I want to speak to a lawyer. Teach it to every adult member of your family in English. Practice it. Step 2. Carry a Know Your Rights card. The ACLU and ILRC both have printable cards you can download for free. I'll put the links in the description. You hand that card to the agent and you say nothing else. Step 3. If you work at a hospital, designate one person as the authorized individual to handle ICE interactions. Train your staff to say, I am not authorized to consent to your entry. Please present a valid judicial warrant signed by a federal judge and document everything. Step 4. Have an emergency legal plan. Know the phone number of an immigration attorney before you need one. Have a plan for your children. Have power of attorney documents prepared. This is not paranoia. This is preparation. And let me say this with all the compassion in my heart. Do not stop going to the hospital. EMTALA is federal law. You have the right to emergency medical care. Children who need vaccines should get them. Pregnant women who need checkups should get them. A Physicians for Human Rights survey found that 84% of healthcare workers across 30 states have seen patient visits drop since the executive orders. Children are showing up to emergency rooms alone because their parents are too afraid to walk through the door. That fear is understandable, but avoiding medical care can cost you your health, and it can cost your children their lives. Go to the hospital, know your rights, and exercise them. I want to be honest with you about something. Everything I've told you today is accurate as of March 2026. But this area of law is changing fast, sometimes week to week. New court injunctions, new state laws, new ICE memos. What's true today might shift tomorrow. That's why I built something for you. I have a free official WhatsApp channel. The link is in the description right now. When a rule changes, when a court issues an injunction, when a new state passes a hospital protection law, I send an alert. No spam, no sales, just the legal updates that could save your case. Join it today and then do me a favor. A real favor. Share this video. Not for me, not for my channel. Share it. Because right now, someone in your family WhatsApp group still believes hospitals are safe zones. Someone in your community is avoiding the emergency room because they saw a scary TikTok. Someone you love doesn't know the difference between a judicial warrant and an administrative warrant. This video could be the thing that keeps them from making a mistake they can't undo. So, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this video to more people who need it. Subscribe to Global Immigration Updates if you haven't already, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one, because I have a video coming soon about the ICE warrant memo and what it means for your home. You don't want to miss that. This is Saqib. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next.